Thank you for joining me today. I'm Sophia Romanelli, and I'm part of the Capstone series here at the Program on the Environment at the University of Washington. My research is titled Tribal Climate Adaptation, Restructuring U.S. Government Support. Before I start, I would like to thank my site supervisors, Sarah Frederick and Vicki Salazar at the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and my faculty advisor, Joshua Griffin, who is part of the American Indian Studies program here at the University of Washington. During my internship, I worked with both the US government and tribes in the Pacific Northwest region on the issue of climate adaptation. 9 of Alaska's 10 warmest years on record have occurred since 1980. This has led to the melting of permafrost, decreased ice pack, and increased erosion. Due to the combining of these factors and many others, Alaska Native villages are some of the first communities in the nation to begin relocation efforts due to the impacts of climate change. For a tribe considering to relocate their community, the path is complicated. Adaptation efforts like relocation require building new homes, new roads, and new water infrastructure, just to name a few things. A different federal agency or department is involved in each one of these different components. This can increase the stress and the frustration that the tribes are already feeling. The question I sought to answer with my research was what the necessary structural requirements would be in a new federal agency created to support tribal adaptation to climate change. To answer this question, I followed 3 different methods of inquiry. First, I conducted informational interviews with government employees, both tribal and non-tribal members, to learn through their experiences. I then researched past examples of successful designs and organizational systems for government agencies. Finally, I reviewed the extent to which the priorities and opinions of tribal members are currently included in federal support for adaptation. From this research, I determined that there is a true need for this new federal agency dedicated solely to climate change. By combining information from the interviews and the research, I designed a framework for this proposed agency. I further identified supporting foundational elements to these main components that I believed were especially necessary to include. The significance of these results is important for the country as a whole. Tribal communities in Alaska are some of the first in the country needing to take action as a result of climate change impacts, but they will not be the last. The better the federal government can support the needs of these tribal villages now, the better the future will be for everyone. I'd like to thank my friends and family, and I'd also like to recognize the strength of Alaska Native village members in a changing world. Thank you.